Hi, everybody. We're a little bit
Hi,
early.
everybody.
Great to have you here. And I'm Wisdom Seeker Joan. And let me introduce my dear friends, Terri Suzuki from Kigaru Spiritual Journeys and SunPsychic Jean.
Hi, everybody.
We're thrilled that you're here. And you are so lucky to be here because we've realized that Linda G is just decided to have a live. And so a lot of people are over there. So your chances of getting your questions answered just went up substantially. So we thank you for coming. And we're lucky to have you. And I think Spirit decided you need to come here today because you'll have a good chance of getting your questions answered. So welcome to Julia and Lori and Carter. Happy Monday and blessings to you, everybody. Uh, Lori Mars and Lady Silver, 1111, Ivana Intuitive, and there's Samantha. Thank you for the butterflies. We're just really happy to be here and really happy to have you with us here. But while we wait for maybe a couple more people to show, I just thought we'd chat a little bit amongst ourselves. It's not that far into the new year, and I was just wondering if you have made plans or resolutions or goals the for what you're doing spiritually for the next year, and if you'd care to share that with us.
Yeah, I have a lot of expos that I have planned for this year. I booked one already for the April 2nd, which seems far away, but it's really quite soon, like the cutoff time that you have to register. And there's another show that is up in Pennsylvania that I think Viviani wants me to go to, and that's a 2-day show.
Ooh,
And I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I'm currently in Maryland, so it's not too far to go. But I'm really looking forward to spreading out a little bit more and getting to know more people and getting into these regular type of expos and getting out into the public. I really love that, and I love this YouTube. I certainly do. But it's I think it's important for me to step out. I think this is the year. I'd also like to. I mean, I've only read a room once, right? And Terry, you were my inspiration, but I'd like to do a little bit more like that, and perhaps even do help people with a fundraiser. I heard somebody was doing a fundraiser for a pet shelter and offering their psychic services, and like if they would pay for your services, all the proceeds would go to the shelter. I thought that would be great. I would love to do something like that, like really just get out into the community.
sweet. Oh, that's a beautiful motivation too. The way to kind of pay it forward. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
How about you, Terry? What's
Well, I also uh, am planning to kind of spread out more. I've booked three expos, or we really call them metaphysical fairs on this. I'm on the Pacific Coast. And so I've booked out one in February, one in April, and one in June. And so I have a lot of fun going to those. And I will also attempt to read a room again. But Jean forgets that she's my inspiration. I would never have even considered such a thing. But one day she was talking about it, and I'm like, really? You can do that? Okay, well, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And it's just my chance to do it came up sooner. But it's really that. So that's something I want to do. But I think also I want to investigate um, maybe another spiritual gift. I don't know which one yet, but you know me. I'm curious as all get out. I want to see what else can be done. And
I
yeah.
I know that you had suggested psychometry before, and it is fascinating. And I was thinking maybe I could like write that in one of my, bring something of your loved ones with you. I haven't tried it, but I'm sure that it would help me to pick up the energy of the loved one. But I would love to. I mean, how could you just try that one time? Maybe I don't
Well,
know.
and that's a thing you got to do in person more. So that's,
Right.
I thought about going over and getting my neighbor to give me something because she's interested, but she hasn't ever had me read her yet. And so I think she'd be cooperative to let me experiment on her. So
That sounds cool. Yeah, I would love to get into psychometry because just on my little altar here with all my pictures of loved ones, both here and on the other side, I have my mother's, my father's, and my late husband's watches.
Wow.
And just, I don't know, I just wanted to have them there. And I've tried, but I think, I don't know, it's too close or something like that. But yeah, I'd love to learn how to do that. Plus, I was the repository for all the stuff about the past generations, and I've got a whole, this whole thing. Well, a big drawer of it is full of things from ancestors going back 100 or more years, and yeah, it would be fun to pick up some of their photographs and all of that, and see if I couldn't
Yeah.
learn a little more about them.
If anybody in the chat has any suggestions about different types of modalities that they've done in the past or that they've seen performed in the past, that would be interesting to hear. But yeah, I think that would be really exciting. I think yeah, and they say that sometimes if you pick up used jewelry or used items, that it's important to make sure you clear them before you bring them in the home and stuff.
Right.
But I loved thrifting and picking up things secondhand, so it's a good reminder.
Yeah. I think Susan Lin just had a video about that, how dangerous that can be, because things can come along with those items that you pick up. Well, more people have arrived. Thank you very much. We've got Christy and Lauren and Joan B. We got your questions, and thank you so much. Well, maybe we should. Oh, before we jump into questions, I'm just going to say that for mine, at least for a little while in the new year, I have decided to just do readings by donation for a while. So, in the description for this video, underneath it, you can see the links to all of our YouTube channels and to our booking sites. And if you click on any of those booking sites, you can book with us. But mine only now says reading by donation. And then you can donate nothing, or you can donate what you want to afterwards or whatever. But I just for the first part of the new year, I'd like to do that. So if you're interested, if you've ever thought of having a reading and just weren't sure about it, whether about the monetary part of it, now would be a good time. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
wonderful.
It's like a win-win. Joan gets her new year geared up and going, and she's and you get a reading, right? And um, so Joan, you do your readings via Zoom, and you record them, and you can send them to them, right?
Right. Yes. So you get the recording afterwards, so you don't have to worry about taking notes. So I think that helps people be a little more present. Although I'm a compulsive note taker, so even if it's recorded, I take notes. So whatever, it gives you the option. Terry,
Right.
you're going to say something.
I was going to say, you sometimes pull some oracle cards too, and you text those to people as well.
Yes.
Oh,
And sometimes I also, if what I see is really, really clear and significant, I'll go do a Google image search and say, it's kind of like this. And I think people sort of appreciate that sometimes, to get an idea of what was actually being sent, or at least what I received.
I do that too. I
Yeah.
do that too. Or if they recommend like a certain meditation, or if there's a song that comes through, I'll make sure that I send them that link. I follow it up.
Well, that's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah.
hmm
Great.
I never thought about sending song links. I don't get songs very often, but I didn't think about that you could send the link. That's interesting. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wonderful. Well, let's dive in. And here is our first questioner, Julia Flores. I would like a reading on how my personal development is going to go in 2023.
Hi, Julia. I think I met Julia at one of my expos.
Oh, wonderful.
So nice for you to be here. So nice to see you. Hmm. I'm sensing it's going to be exciting for you, Julia. I think that it's important for us to dive in and to um, work on our daily practice and allow for the information to direct you. Almost, you might be discovering a new um, source. Interesting. So you may be getting in a new guide or a new angel or a new way to practice. My hands are sort of activated. I have uh, crystals in my hands, and I kind of feel like the pulsing coming in through my palms. So I'm not sure if you're doing any type of healing or if you'll be practicing any healing or taking a Reiki class or something like this. And this will really help to like round out your sensitivity to energy and help build on your spiritual practice that way. And
Joan, if you have anything, you can go ahead.
Sure. What I saw was very literal. I saw the numbers 2023, like, like when you buy birthday cake numbers or something like that, they're kind of thick. And so it was these thick kind of 3D numbers. And I was looking down at it from above, and they started to rise. And as they were rising, I was seeing flowers and vines entwining all around them and flowers coming out. So things are going to be blossoming for you in 2023. So it was all coming up with things starting like with spring, and it was starting to blossom. And then the 23 part, this is kind of backwards, the 23 part was going up higher. After a while, it started, the rate of rising was higher under the 23 digits than under the 20 digits. So I'm interpreting that the second half of the year, things are going to be moving a little faster for you. So whatever seeds you sow in the beginning of the year are going to pay off throughout the year, but especially in the last 6 months.
that's neat.
So Julia, I'm not getting a super clear picture, but I kind of heard as I tapped in, hang on. And I saw 2023. Now, I think that what I'm seeing, I kind of see for everybody. So I'm kind of thinking what I'm seeing is 2023 in general, that it's a little rough and bumpy, but it's not like hilly. It's just a little rough and bumpy. And they're letting me know that you are going to be working on new gifts this year, growing your own personal gifts, learning how to use them with others. They're saying, don't let anything throw you. Everything's just a little bump, a little bump. Don't let anything throw you. Just keep going. And when Jean said daily practice, that like lit up for me, just lit up for me, that they do want you to develop and stick to a daily practice, whatever that means for you. It could be meditation. It could be like you're going to take a walk and meditate at the same time, or just something that will where you do something with spirit like every day. And I do feel like that if you're working, this kind of applies to your work too, that it might be a little bumpy. Um, so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater or anything. Everything is going to be course corrected. It's going to be I think a bumpy year for everybody, but it's going to be an interesting year. I think it clears the way for 2024, which I think is going to be a pretty fabulous year. So.
That sounds great.
Excellent. Can we do a special shout out to our friend Starfish, our classmate? Hi, Starfish.
Hey,
How are you? Nice to see you. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
great. Good to see you. And I also wanted to say hi and thank you for the kind compliment, Gertrude Shu, who has had a reading with me and has, oh my word, her channel has just taken off and her abilities are amazing. So if you don't already, be sure to check out Gertrude's channel. She's talk about someone who does a daily practice religiously and the benefits, you can really see it. You've grown even since you started the channel. It's just beautiful. So let's see who's next here.
And Julia had a little follow up. She did say she had a Reiki session recently. And when I was saying that my hands, I could feel my hands turn on, the vibration in my palms. I think this is really key that it's important to take care of ourselves and take care of our energy when we want our own spiritual practice to grow. It's important to receive and to ground and to balance ourselves as well as to develop the spiritual growth. I thought that was really key. So thanks for that, Julia.
Yeah, good reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
She says
Oh,
thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
that's okay. We're both trying to drive here. So here's Laura Mars. Hello. The question is, for my retirement, is it recommended that I pursue buying my friend's father's house? The house is almost perfect for me, and yet her father can be difficult. Okay. I am in something of a similar situation, so I understand this. But let's see what the spirits say.
I'm getting a yes. I'm getting a pretty strong yes. And as long as you know to take it with a grain of salt and understand that this is his home, he has a territorial type of feel, and that, as we get accustomed or attached to things, it's hard to let them go. And, just understand that and say, yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, I would feel the same way. And just kind of like, show him a little grace through the whole thing. I think eventually it'll turn out in your best interest. That's what I said. Is purchasing is pursuing the purchase of this house in Lori's best interest, and it said yes.
So
Go ahead.
So they immediately put his house on my stage. And I'm like, ooh, this is cute. This is a good little house. And they had me walk all the way around it. And but what my eye was drawn to, because at first I only walked halfway around it and I saw what I think I was supposed to see, but they reminded me, do your due diligence, because I often rehab houses and walk all the way around this house. So I walked all the way around. And what I see 4 cords coming out from the top of the house, as if there's 4 cables, like let's say cable TV cables coming out from the roof. And I'm like, so I asked them, can these cables be removed? And they're like, sure. And I'm like grabbing a chainsaw, and they're like, oh, no, 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 no. And they showed me these little nippers that you'd nip a little plant off, but they were in a heart shape.
Oh,
They're like, you can cut these with love.
Oh,
So I get the definite feeling that yes, this house could be good for you. Remember, it's always your choice. If you don't want this house, don't buy this house. But they're saying that it seems like he's going to have four things that's going to be holding it back a little bit, and that you can cut them with love.
yeah,
wow.
beautiful. I was getting sort of the same thing. Right away, I saw an older man with his, arms akimbo and like, but I got the distinct feeling that it wasn't that he didn't want, he just didn't want to sell it. He knows he has to make a change, but he just doesn't like the situation. He doesn't want that change. And it's easier to just be obstreperous about it than it is to admit I'm at the stage of life where I need to make this kind of change. So they were saying when I looked as spirit through the pendulum, is this in Lori's best interests? And it said yes. And is this in the best interest of everyone? And it took a while, but said yes. But I think it is just selling the house is a huge thing to let go of for someone. And in some ways, he was thinking also what came up is, just the feeling of nobody knows this place. Nobody's going to take care of it the way I did. Nobody, this is my whole life here. And, but also on the other side, he's also thinking perhaps I could get more for it if I sold it to someone I didn't know and could really, and that type of thing. So just put that in the back of your mind, and whether that means getting a market rate evaluation to calm him, to say, the price is going to be at or around market rate. It's not like I'm asking you to give this away. And as both of these ladies say, just go in with knowing that it's more than just a transaction. This is a huge thing for him and for you too. But I wish you the best.
Yeah. And as you were saying that, Joan, I was also hearing him say, or he could be also considering, well, it's better than selling it to a stranger. At least you know that I know you, that I would honor the things that you liked and about the house, and keep the house the way that, the things that he thought were, beautiful about the house, and not just let it go to just anybody who's going to take everything down and modernize it. That could be something that would help him to think about it too.
Yeah. And if there are specific things, like if you wanted to take a tour of the grounds and he'd say, this was the tree we planted the year our first baby was born, or this is the rose bush that I gave on a Mother's Day to my wife. And, to say, just don't dig them up and throw them away. These things have meaning. I know that before my mother-in-law moved, oh my word, neither of her children could do it. But I went through the house. She had an auction and she had to tell me the story of every object. This is the tray that I served breakfast on when your husband was sick, when he was home from school. And then once somebody else knew those stories, it was easier for her to let go of them. And she did. She sold everything and moved down south. But sometimes just that transfer of the emotion from the objects and that can help too. So we wish you the best. And
Lori has a beautiful response there.
Oh my.
If you want to pop it up.
Let's see.
Did you want me to pop it up?
Yeah, why don't you? Oh yes, it's okay, go ahead.
She says, "This is making perfect sense to me. His ties to the house are strong, and it's filled to the ceiling literally with boxes of former wife stuff who
Oh
passed
boy.
away many years ago." Well, he doesn't like to let go if he's he's
Yeah.
still hanging on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
thank
then
you.
she says, "This is an affair of the heart."
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
wonderful.
very sweet of you to recognize that, Laurie, and to be sensitive about that when you're as you're coming in, to pursue the purchase. And at least the only thing you can do is try. And if he's really just stubborn and doesn't want to sell it, then it's not meant to be. But it feels really good. It feels good for you, both of you, especially because you'll be gentle with him and be able to understand that it's just him not wanting to let go, and not really that he doesn't want to sell it to you. It's just him wanting to hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with all the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We wish you well and invite us to the virtual move-in party.
I know, Lori, let us know how that goes.
Ivana, hello. I would love a general reading for the next 3 months. That sounds
Hi,
wonderful.
Ivana. I'm getting a sense that your responsibilities will lighten up. I feel as though you may have had a lot of a lot on your plate, or a lot on your shoulders, and I feel as though that you may be offloading these and not really um, accepting things that are too much for you to deal with. Almost saying, that's too much for me right now. Try and find somebody else to take care of that for you, like really honoring your workload, really honoring your space and your boundaries. That's what I'm hearing. Wow. Joan?
Well,
Oh, okay.
Terry, go ahead.
oh, well, they immediately popped a big slice of cake on my stage. I mean, a really big one, like as tall as me. And it's like a 3-layer cake, and it's cut in a triangle, the traditional way to cut a cake. And the triangle, oh, okay. So these next 3 months I first heard, this is a piece of cake for you. And then I said, oh, it's triangular. Do the points of the triangle mean anything? And they said, yes. Body, soul, and mind. That you will be working on these 3 things: body, soul, and mind. And then they showed me the next part, which, is a little, they're reminding me that a triangle in the Greek language is delta, and delta means change in math. So there will be changes, but I think it's going to be pleasant because that's a nice piece of cake. Wow.
I learned so much from not only from Spirit, but from you. From now we're learning a little bit of mathematics and everything too. That's great. Well, what I got were right away a big bouquet of flowers, and they were white and pink, carnations and little sweetheart roses. So it was just this fresh spray of beautiful flowers, and it just kind of said new beginning, and both recognition for what's gone before, but it's like a new year, a new fresh start, a new beginning. And then the next thing I saw was kind of like a kid's wagon, and we know the little red wagon, but this wasn't the red wagon. It was like that, but it was all built out of wood, and even the wheels were wood. And it showed me a hand pulling it up, kind of over, this whomever was pulling it had been pulling it over an incline, but now the person got in it and it was going to go downhill. And even with the wooden wheels, things are going to start taking off. So I don't know if this relates to a period that has been a little more trying, or like you didn't have quite the right vehicle for whatever it was that you needed to do. But now, even in that vehicle that might not be, it's not a race car, it's not even the red wagon with the rubber wheels, things are going to be starting to move faster and it's going to seem easier. And maybe that's what the spring flowers were for. Good for you for pulling it up the hill. And now it's going to be a fun ride. So I hope that makes sense to you.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. And she says, love that. And and Jean, yes, I agree with that. And about the cake, I hope it's with yellow and white frosting. That's wonderful. Love the math reference. And that's just wonderful to hear. Great. Best of luck for the new year. Next, we have Lady Silver 1111. Does my father Leo have a 2023 message for me?
Hi, Lady Silver. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
I love the name Leo. It's a cool name.
They keep telling me it's the only zodiac name with 3 letters. And I think that was a crossword clue this morning. Okay, so something timely. Leo's in the news, so to speak. This is father.
I'm getting a sense of somebody that has charisma, somebody that is charismatic, and he's sort of like encouraging you to use everything you've got. Use your charm when necessary. He's saying that you have this charisma, you have this. Um, I don't know what that word is. It's like a je ne sais quoi or something. It sounds like that. I'm sure I'm not saying it correctly, but whatever this is that you have something special. You have that charisma. You have this charm. And he's saying, let it work for you. He's saying that this is something that he's showing me he had, and that he was able um, to utilize and help to create things in his life. And he's saying that you have this special magic within you. And he said, even if you don't think that yours is as good as mine, he's saying, you can borrow mine. You can say, Dad, let me borrow your charisma, or infuse me with your charisma, and just ask him and build this special this special quality in you, Lady Silver. I'd love to know what that is. He's saying that you don't have not that you don't, but that you may not believe in yourself as much as he believes in you. And he just wants you to know that believe it, it's true.
And she says, thank you, Jean. Wonderful.
Well, I see Leo, and he is everything Jean has described. I see him as now he may or may not have been a smoker. I see him smoking, but it's almost for effect, like to make himself more charming, and he has. So I need to back up a second. I have a gift called what I've always called. I've known I've had it ever since I was a little kid, and I call it charm. And it's something I can turn on and off. I usually keep it off because I feel it gives me an unfair advantage. Um, because if I turn charm on, I can make people do what I want them to do, or to give me what I want them to give me, and it feels a little unfair for me because it's too easy. One of my children was born with this as well, and as a little kid who couldn't control it, it was really hard to raise that kid, um, because we would go out of the store with his arms piled full of stuff, with the cashiers lining the thing, and me saying, "Did you steal that? Did you steal that?" And them saying, "Oh no, we gave it to him," and they're all patting his head, and I'm just like, "Oh God, oh God." Um, but that is what Leo. I'm sorry that it kind of goes right into your reading, Jean, but that's what Leo's saying. He had this charm that I'm talking about. You, Lady Silver 11, have this charm as well, and it actually turns on by happiness. Just be,
Mm.
it's just happiness. I I usually have it off. But one time I went to see my son in New York City, and I was so happy to see him that I accidentally turned it on. I talked to everybody in New York City, and my son's looking at me like, "What's going on here?" Nobody talks to each other walking down the street in New York City, and everybody's talking to me. "That's a pretty suitcase," because I'm driving it. They're like, "We like your hair." Like, okay, so you turn it on with happiness, and happiness is just a choice. So choose happiness. Borrow your father's, because he's such a nice man. I'm charmed by him completely. Um, and when I said, "Do you have a further actual message for them?" He did something that I thought, well, this is really not your time zone, but he did the heart, and he turned it red. So he's just sending you his love.
And Terry, she did say he was a pipe smoker. You were right. You saw him smoking. And she said it looked intelligent.
Well,
I can almost hear him say that. I, I was like, why did I say this about the thing in the crossword? And and I was, the thought came to my mind, and I wasn't going to say anything because it's not really relevant. But I just got the idea. No, you have to say that, and it was Leo that wanted me to say that because he said he's still with you daily, just like the crossword. It's someone you can rely on, just like you can rely on the crossword and the horoscope is showing up in the paper every day. So, and then what I saw was I did get the feeling of his charm and just that warmth of his personality. And I very vaguely saw, like, in old cartoons or old fashioned movies, when people would hit somebody in the face with a pie full of whipped cream or whatever, someone did that to him. And I saw him, you know, wiping it out of his eyes and then turning that. And he was able to take something that maybe was not meant in the best way, or was maybe to be meant to be laughed at him, and he got the upper hand because he told some one liner or some joke about it, so he could take control of that energy and turn it to his advantage. And so I think the message there is, even when somebody hits you in the face with a pie, the way you handle it, you can still be in control of that situation. You don't have to be uh, the victim of someone else's attitudes, ideas, and actions. You have what he had, that in any situation you can turn it to your benefit. And it might, maybe not have been your choice to get hit in the face with a cream pie, but you can still have the upper hand there. So, and he'll help you. He'll help you with it. Oh, thank you so much for letting us meet him.
Wow.
great.
Wow. That was really nice. Really
Yeah.
nice. And Lady Silver says she loved that, Terry, that analogy that you described. And she says, "Thank you, Joan." Wow.
Let's
You know,
see.
these our loved ones are coming through so much stronger, so much stronger. Each and every day they comes through stronger and stronger. It's amazing.
Here is for Samantha. I would love a message from Spirit for guidance today. Oh, I love the
Hi,
bird.
Samantha. I know her hummingbird, her rainbow hummingbird.
Beautiful.
So I'm not hungry, but for some reason they're showing me banana bread. And when I think of banana bread, I think of like comfort and sort of grounding and homemade baked warmth and nourishment and sort of working with your hands, being creative um, and then also being able to reap the rewards of this creation. Slowing down, sort of doing things in a methodical way where you can let your mind just wander. Oh, this is lovely. It feels like a nurturing, creative, yet grounding, and this is what they want you to do during these winter months. And this is what they're suggesting for you. And I'm not sure if you are a gardener, but I'm seeing like seedlings as well. Like they want you to tend to your to the seeds, to the growth that's going to be coming in the future. Um, Add coal to the hearth and keep your kitchen warm. And I think that just means your soul, your be kind to yourself. Yeah, that's it.
Well, they made me pull a card. They were like, they brought this deck, Oracle deck, to my attention, and I'm like, okay, but I usually read, and they're like, no, we really want you to pull a card for her. So, this is from the Priestesses of Light deck, and it is Sacred Gratitude.
Mm.
Reverence, appreciation, prayer. So they are calling you to gratitude today. That gratitude is going to be a very good choice for today. But they're not saying, when I read a little bit about it, they're not saying like, thank you God for everything I have. Not like that. This card is calling you to just be grateful for being, for just experiencing, you know, the grace of God. And also, the funny thing is that as I was reading the book, just as Jean was talking about the gardening part, I was reading about this card, and she's touching a tree. And again, this thing basically, they do want you to kind of go out in nature, maybe touch a tree and have a gratitude moment. But there was one thing in here that I also read that really like jumped out, like, and it said, be careful not to dismiss this choice as frivolous. This is inwardly peaceful. This inwardly peaceful intention is actually a dynamic energy accelerator.
Wow.
That is pretty cool. So yeah, put your gratitude on today.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. Let's see. When I first tuned in, um, maybe it was because we were talking about your hummingbird icon, but part of the Emily Dickinson poem came to me. It's like something is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul. And I thought, how does that go again? I couldn't remember what the first word was. And I had to look it up, and it's hope. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul. And I wish I could remember the rest of it. But anyhow, hope was the word that they wanted you to focus on. And hope not in the sense of, oh, kind of like with gratitude, not like, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. I really hope this is going to happen, with the belief, that's coming from a negative, like, I really don't believe it's going to. Um, but to approach the idea of hope as an acronym for belief, and looking forward to these good things that are going to be coming to you, and in a gentle way, like the gentle thing with feathers. If you believe that whatever it is that you're asking for, and whether that's just uh, a higher vibration for the rest of the afternoon, or a new house, or whatever, to just kind of live in that vibration of hope and expectation, the gentle expectation, rather than the demanding or the type of focus that emphasizes lack rather than having. So that was something, to just kind of keep hope alive. Let's see. And to keep hope alive, and know that it's coming from you, and that you're doing it already. But just think about your birds. Oh, and then when you drew a card, I thought, oh, hope with a thing is a thing with feathers. I better draw a card from my feathers deck. And this is the Oriole, and a beautiful, beautiful bird. And it says, new creative ventures are on the horizon. See it as a positive change. So I hope that that is helpful to you,
It
Samantha.
was really beautiful, Joan.
Great.
So lovely.
I know, it's very touching. It touched me too. I think I needed to hear that.
We actually should take a moment to say that sometimes when we're reading people, sometimes the message is for others, and you can kind of claim it as yours too. If it speaks to you, it's for you. And I have to say that spoke to me too. So
Great. All right. Carter, I don't believe we've read you yet. Carter Deluxe, I'd be so happy to receive a general reading. Definitely.
And her name is Abby. Hi,
Abby.
Abby. General reading. Let's go.
well, they show me you in a kitchen, right? I'm pretty sure it's you, and you're cooking. I feel like you're cooking chili. But maybe I'm just hungry for chili. It's hard to say. And you're cooking, but then I see you kind of look up a little, and like this little drop comes into you. It's actually spirit talking to you as you cook. And I almost feel like that this cooking is like a way of meditation for you, almost that you are such a good cook, or able to just do it in such a way that your mind is open to information. So spirit, is there any information that Abby needs to know right now? They're saying, they're kind of having me look down on top of you, and so your crown chakra is kind of open, and I'm looking down, and they're showing me a tree. She says she's like a strong tree, and I can kind of see a tree inside you. They said the tree is growing. It's not a fast growing tree, but it's growing. It's stable. It's providing stability. So I believe that what they're saying is that they are acknowledging your strengths. They're acknowledging the ability to tap into your insight and become even more stable. And I would also have to say that probably they're encouraging you to do things that don't take much thought, so that they can put those thoughts, those spiritual things inside you.
That's really beautiful. Joan, did you want to go or should I go?
I didn't get a lot. I'll just jump in real quick. What I saw were, I'm getting lots of flowers and nature things today. Narcissus. Sometimes you get those spring flowers that you force inside, and darling little white and yellow flowers with a very distinctive and fresh scent. And I saw them sitting in a pot. And I saw them kind of from behind, and they were stretching toward the light, trying to reach the light. And the idea was that, yes, it's good to look forward, good to find something that'll get you through an idea, a concept that'll get you through the dark days, like those wonderful flowers can be like a promise of spring coming. But don't live too much in the future. Just like the flowers were stretching, after a while they get really leggy, and it's like, no, you want to be able to stand up in the now and stand firm and strong and grow in your place, bloom where you're planted and grow in your place, that type of thing. So enjoy the moment so it's sort of the balance of enjoying and living fully in the moment, but looking forward to the future. Let's see. What else did it say? Do it your own pace, but don't overdo it. Don't get stressed out about trying to achieve something in the future so much that you're not enjoying the now. There, I said the same thing about 5 different times, but I think you got the idea. Jean, what did you get?
I think that's really, really great. I think it's very similar to what Terry's had and what they gave me. I think what it is they're giving us a specific message, and we are trying to describe it and articulate it. And they're saying, you're almost there. And then when we get it, they're like, you got it, And so it's really important for us to continue until we feel as though we got the message that they wanted us to deliver. That's I recognize myself in that too. But just as Terry was talking about centering and Joan was talking about centering and to corralling your energies a little bit, they're also suggesting that you call in on your angels and your spirit guides. Call in assistance. It's no man's an island. We are not here alone. We are all guided by angels and spirit guides that want to help us. And it's not the spirit guides that are like shining a golden light way up in the stars up there. It's a spirit guide that's sort of right beside you, that coaxes you and wakes you up and tells you, come on, you can make dinner even though you're tired. It's the spirit guide that kind of keeps you motivated each day and supports you each day. There's somebody right beside you. There are many spirit guides right beside you, coaxing you and assisting you along the way. And if you feel as though you're overextending yourself or you have too many things that you just can't corral in, this is what Joan was saying about the plant, and Terry was talking about the tree. And just ask for your spirit guides and your angels to come in and help to support you and focus you forward. I thought that was really well done, girls. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Abby. Thanks for asking. We wish you the very best. And next up is the other Joan, Joan B. Could you see if my guides have a message they want me to hear right now?
Excellent. Wouldn't that be funny if you were Joan A? I just thought of that.
And I love the green hearts for the chakra color.
Mm-hmm. So, if I could just tell you a little bit about what I'm picking up about you, Joan, I feel as though you have a lot of experience and that you have um, you've pretty not gone through things, but you've had ups and downs, and you know that life is here to help us to learn. You have this wisdom about you, and you understand that life is not just a bowl of cherries. And once we get to the other side of things, then perspective really allows us to um, understand lessons of what may have happened in the past. I'm not sure what this was or if it has to do with family or jobs. It's sort of like you went through a rough patch early in your life, and you look back now and you're like, whew, that was really a big lesson for me. And you kind of get it. Like you kind of heard what it was that made you understand, and now you see things differently and you understand more about what makes people tick, or what situations you want to extend yourself in and which ones you don't. I just feel like there's a lot of wisdom and there's a lot of self awareness. And this is an evolution in humanity as well. I feel as though you know how to control your energy and your frequency and your vibration. I feel as though you have like this wisdom about you, and I think I just, for some reason, they just want me to remind you about all of the beautiful virtues that you have going on right here, right now. That's what I got.
Now, I swear I'm not hungry.
I
Really, I do. But it's all about the food today somehow. So they put a huge sandwich on my stage, like kind of like that, as big as that cake, kind of. And it's really just so I can see the sandwich. That's why it's so large. I, and it's nearly the same thing that Jean said. So the sandwich is like a Monte Cristo sandwich. So there's many layers, not just two pieces of bread with one thing. There's many layers of bread, many layers of things. And the sandwich kind of stands for your past life. Now, your life before this, where that you have gone through a lot of things, and you can see in the layers of sandwiches the difficult things that you've gone through, and that you survived, and that you did well on too. And then as I'm like, okay, what is going on? Then I saw hands wrapping up the sandwich in cellophane, and then hands put it. The sandwich wasn't as big; it was enough that your hands could grasp it, and they put it in your pocket of your coat, and they helped you put your coat on, and they sent you down the path to the right, to the future. And they want you to think about, so I kept hearing words like nourishment. This is you have the sandwich in your pocket now for nourishment, should you ever need to fall back on it, or never need to look back at the things that you survived, at the things that you excelled at the all of this is like tools in your pocket, and that you're going forward now. And I see it's more like a bright new day. The future looks very beautiful, um, like a nice path in a meadow, not really the woods so much as a meadow. Anyway, so I think they're just telling you, keep going. You got this. You have the nourishment with you to keep going, to keep doing this. And um, wow, and you got a lot of angels and guides. There's one, I'm seeing at least six, but I think there's a seventh. I think there's an angel behind the sandwich. So, okay.
Wow.
So let's see. What I what I was getting right away was the third eye just lit up, and it did not abate for quite a while. And so to me, it means you have the vision, you have a broader perspective on things from what you've lived in life. And then I saw you um, as a woman with long hair wrapped up. It kind of looked, and you were standing on a cliff above the ocean, and it sort of looked like you might be in like a PBS special or a masterpiece theater, some woman in Scotland with the wind blowing her hair back. It was like, yes, I've been through all of this and I'm in charge. I got through it and I'm still here. So it was like the wind was blowing. You've come to this higher place and are able to work with the energies and understand the energies, the ebb and the flow, the of the sea and the changes in the earth and everything. But it's like those challenges will still be coming, just like the tide will always still be coming in. But there was a certain calmness in you about it because of from what you've learned. And then I saw you as cradling this baby while you're standing. It sort of looks like the cover of a romance novel or something. It's just beautiful and profound. And then you're cradling this baby, but it wasn't a baby, it was you. And the reminder, the message is to talk to yourself as tenderly and as lovingly as you would to this tiny little infant and say how beautiful you are and how perfect you are. And you've come through so much, as every newborn baby has. And just be very, very kind to yourself and give yourself a pat on the back for what you have been through and how strong it's made you and how in tune with the world you are because of it. You're on a higher place, a different type of wisdom. And anyhow, I hope it all works out. And I want to see that miniseries.
She said she had hair down to, she does have hair down to her knees almost.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. A new beginning is what I got when you said she was holding the baby and looking at the baby. This is a new beginning for you to turn over a new leaf, and all the drama and the trauma is behind you now. And you can take your wisdom, you can take your Monte Cristo sandwich or whatever it is, and travel on, because you have that you just have that knowing, that confidence in you. So good on you, Joan, and all the best to you. What a wonderful, wonderful energy. What a beautiful story we all just uh, developed together
Yeah,
about you. Lovely.
thank you so much. Next up is our friend Gertrude, a message from her spirit guides. Okay, Gertrude.
Hi, Gertrude. They're showing me your spirit as a butterfly. I see you flying around and touching on different flowers and resting on different limbs, and just exploring from a higher perspective. And you're very light on your feet, and you you're very attractive, and you have changed. This is your metamorphosis. You have changed, and you are showing others your the light of your soul, which is shown through the color of your wings of your butterfly. And you're opening up this this light that you're shining out, and you're going from flower to flower, which is sort of like you're mingling with new people and new experiences. And I see that this is sort of like a newness for you, another rebirth. I think there might be either food or rebirth is going to be the message for today. But wow, that was really pretty, really pretty. What did you guys get?
Well, I was immediately taken to a Buddhist temple, and the monks are dressed in orange, and they're sitting and they're humming. They're somehow singing together in such a way that it's creating a hum, a vibration through the whole wooden building. Big vibration, big hum, lots of deep prayer. And then I come to kind of a very large monk, and in front of him is a gold tray that has intricate details carved into it. And when I asked, what is on this tray, then I saw him sitting incense on the tray, and then herbs. He put like rosemary and parsley and other herbs that I don't necessarily know what they are. And then he picked the tray up, and then it kind of started to levitate and go towards the future. So remember what you see and whatever this vision is more important than what I see, but I feel like that they are giving you that this monk from God is giving you new gifts, more gifts. And for some reason I kept thinking that there's some freedom here. There's some sort of, I don't even know how to explain how that the herbs meant freedom to me, but somehow it's something that you're getting new spiritual gifts, and it would be something that maybe you wouldn't even consider doing, because the herbs are, to me, meaning freedom, a little bit of a break from your past to give you freedom to pursue these. And it's just, they're going forward. So I think you're just going to grow more and more spiritually.
That's really neat, Terri.
Beautiful. So I saw a beach, and we're back again in olden days. And out at sea is a big tall ship, with the big sails, kind of like Nina Pinta and Santa Maria or whatever. And there's a bunch of men, or I'm assuming sailors, who came in, and they are pulling all together a rope that's got to be, that big around, a huge, huge rope. They're pulling something in, and it comes up on shore, all kind of covered with seaweed and other things. And it's a treasure chest. And someone opens the treasure chest, and there's a green gem in there. I don't know if it's an emerald or whatever, but it beams out this beautiful green light. From the sunlight hits it, and it's just beaming up this beautiful green light. So I'm thinking that you have been working hard, diligently, and you're getting the reward. The treasure that you sought, it's on the beach, and it's as beautiful as you anticipated it would be. It's beaming out love, not just for you, but for everyone who's around it. And then, so that I thought, okay, that's a pretty good message. But then right away, or suddenly, what I was seeing changed to being back in the ship that was still out, in the shallows there, but couldn't make it all the way in. And it was under deck, so it was kind of dark and all this old carved wood and everything. And on sort of a shelf, there was a red fox. And I don't know exactly why someone would have a red fox when they're crossing the ocean. But I asked, and it was um, that you took something with you on this voyage that was uncommon, and the fox is wisdom. So you have this uncommon wisdom that you brought along on your journey, and it's going to it's your background and your knowledge is unique to you, but it's kind of this uncommon wisdom that people might not expect, but it's there, and it's all coming to fruition now. So, um, and again, that the fox might mean something to you more than it does to me, but that was my interpretation. But anyhow, that was kind of a fun one. Thank you, Gertrude. That was fun to read. Let's see.
That was really fun, Joan. I enjoyed that.
We are at about an hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Should we try and see if we can get through these 5 pretty quickly?
A speed round?
Let's do a speed round. Okay. Next up is Valerie S. May I have a message from my guides, please?
Valerie. Hi, Valerie S. Thanks for your question. I see them, you having like a down coat on and very soft, fluffy blankets that they want you to stay warm and to snuggle in. It's time to take rest and keep yourself warm.
Well, I immediately saw a letter coming to you, an envelope, and opening it up, and it's from your guides, and it's just talking about love, how much they love you, and they're going to keep sending you these messages as you rest. This builds on Jean's seeing, so they're going to be talking to you, they're going to be giving you messages, and they want you to believe them.
Beautiful. I saw a pinwheel, those little toys that go round and round in the wind. They're brightly colored, and it was just spinning in the wind. And I heard, keep moving, don't take things too seriously, and be in tune with nature. And when you tune into natural elements, it can spin your pinwheel, and it makes life easier to just kind of be in tune to spirit and to nature too.
Wow.
I hope that was helpful. Next up on our speed round is this Siwi.
It could be kiwi. I'm not sure. If you would let us know, if you could let us know if it sounds like a K or an S, that'd be helpful. But it could be either.
Okay.
Grandma Christine.
Yes, a message from Grandma Christine.
She's showing me a carved boy out of wood. And I'm looking at the boy from below his knee, looking up at the boy. So there is a large structure that is being created that you may have created. And she's just encouraging you to explore all of the carvings, all of the natural the revealing what is revealed when you allow the creation to become what it wants to be. Like, listen to what the creation wants to become as you're doing. I'm not sure what you do, if you're a painter or you do. I feel as though you do create something, even if it's food. Listen to it. Use your sixth sense in your creativity.
Well, I'm not actually seeing Grandma Christine on the stage, but I am seeing a female on the stage, but she is so Hansel and Gretel. I feel like I'm in a little nursery rhyme here, or back in Germany. I mean, like it's all so Hansel and Gretelish. And then I finally got the message, which was, please, go ahead, be curious, explore, but don't be taken in. Don't get shoved into somebody's oven.
Always good advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Terry. I was seeing a woman I was seeing in black and white rather than in color, and it was an older woman in a garden, and she was showing me how hard things used to be, and contrasting it with today with technology that does so much. But I did see her like in a garden, both there was like a trellis and growing things up the trellis and then kind of harvesting. I'm not sure if it was onions or what, but it was, she was saying in some ways, things are, what they had to spend time doing, you don't have to do that anymore. You can go, yeah, you can grow your own onions, but you could just go buy them. They're always there and fresh at the store. And, but she said, even with all the technology and all the change, the same things that were really bedrock important to her are important to you now too. And so keep in touch with that, with family, with love, with a sense of who you come from and what that means. A sense of pride in who you are, not boastful pride, but that warm inner feeling of, yeah, I come from a long line of whomever they were, strong women or whatever, and know that they're with you, and recognize that it's different times, but that the very same things that are important to them remain important to you too. So there's that connection. I hope
How
that made sense.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Next is Sharon Hutchinson. Any messages from guides for Sharon today?
Shannon.
Oh,
Good.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
Shannon.
It's
I'm
hard
sorry.
to read it sometimes. Hi, Shannon. Thanks for coming. Sure. Let's see. I see hearts right away. There's love, like romantic love around you. And this is not typically what I read on, so it's somebody's telling me this, but they're showing me hearts, and I feel romantic love. I feel this Valentine's Day will be a special one for you. I believe, I don't know if you already have somebody in your life, but I believe that there is tender and genuine love around you. So I, I'm just going to leave it there, and all the best to you, Shannon. Wow. All right, I'll use my pendulum. Hang on.
I saw a little fairy queen. It was, she has butterfly wings, and the fairy wand with the star on it, and she had a crown on with purple velvet and silver stuff around it, metal around it, and the ermine, yeah, the whole crown thing. So what does this mean for Shannon's spirit? It's a magical time. Don't doubt it. When good things start happening, don't question it. Enjoy, there are ups and downs in life. There are times when things seem to fall into place, and it can seem just like magic. And just remember to appreciate them and say thank you more, please, and just kind of keep it quietly in your heart. Yeah, I see good things happening quietly, but good. Terry, did you get something?
Yeah, I think this has something to do with with the love aspect too, or her heart. Um, so I once upon a time I read somebody else, and they had a their grandmother came in, and the grandmother wants to be called Plenty, and she's so beautiful. And sometimes she comes in almost like she's a guide of mine now. And she's African American. She's very large, and she's got the most beautiful caramel colored afro I've ever seen. And she's so beautiful. And she's so, I mean, whenever I see Plenty, and her name in real life was Mary, but she wants to be called Plenty now, she brings a sense of plenty, that there is enough in life, there's enough for you in life, that you should be um, luxuriating in the plenty, in the little bits of plenty in your life. And then as I'm just seeing her, and she's always dressed in a purple and yellow cloth. She's just the most beautiful. She's just so beautiful. And she immediately, though, is bringing my eyes to her lips. And so I'm looking at her lips, and to me, the lips are, I'm getting a feeling of love, like Jean talked to, about plenty, about oh, I get it now. Okay. Speaking from the heart, speaking from the heart. The lips kind of look like a heart a little bit, and it's speaking from the heart. So make sure you speak from your heart, and just know that you have plenty. You can, and you know, every time I've ever encountered Plenty, it's almost like she went on to become somebody else, that your guide too. So she could be yours too. I don't know, but she's a lovely lady.
That's beautiful.
That
You
is
deserve all the good things, Shannon. And
absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes like we don't feel like we deserve it sometimes. Like we say, "Oh no, give that extra or that last slice to somebody else or something." Take these things that are meant for you and accept the love, accept the generosity, accept the kindness, accept that things are going to be running going for you, even though it may not be going well for a family member or a loved one. Accept that these things can go well for you. Sometimes it's hard. We don't know how to accept the blessings when we're used to not getting them, but they're coming for you if they're not already here, Shannon. But I did check with my pendulum, and they said yes, I was right. So
excellent. And we're going to wrap it up with our friend T Barb. We'll have a message from Spirit if there's time. And yes, there is.
hi, T Barb.
It's good to have you here.
I feel as though you're embarking on studying ancient wisdom or an ancient craft, whether it be I mean, I know Reiki is not ancient, it's recent history, but something like this. You're going to be maybe even like shamanism or some sort of a spiritual healing or um, some sort of a resource that is ancient that you're going to be tapping into. And that's I'll keep it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
my vision is very much the same. Of course, T Barb, I'm right there with your dad. Um, and again, your dad. So kind of your dad directed my eye out your window down the coast. So I got the idea of a trip as well. So at first I heard from him kind of like a spiritual vacation. And I kind of went like, oh, spiritual vacation. That doesn't sound good. I mean, it should sound good, but what it might mean is that things slow down spiritually. And to me, I wouldn't enjoy that too much. So that's why I'm like, oh. And he's like, no, no, no. And then he shows me ancient, really ancient. So you are on some sort of journey, some new spiritual journeys coming up, new spiritual things. It's drawing. I'm seeing a statue. It's either Sumerian or Assyrian. It's old. So some knowledge that's very old is coming to you.
I just love this. Before either of you said anything, what I saw was it looked like all these cloths just kind of all over wrapping somebody up. And it looked like a not very well done mummy. And I thought, I don't want to tell T Barb that I'm seeing a mummy. This is odd. But then it changed, and suddenly all of these little scraps of pieces and pieces of cloth changed and became all arranged. So it looked like a weaving, like a woven basket in a very precise kind of diagonal pattern. So I think what it meant is, again, the mummy and the basket, something about ancient wisdom, but you are taking chaos and making order of it, and not just making it, putting things in line or making it a simple order, but making it a work of art and making it your own. So there's something about ancient wisdom things. I don't know if that's from the ancients or from far back in your family line or your past lives, but there's something that's kind of chaotic, and you're kind of taking control of it and making it something new and useful and beautiful in your life. So I hope that is helpful.
Yeah. Well, if anyone can do that, it's T Barb.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, my friends, thank you so much for coming today. All of you who came to listen and ask questions, and Terri and Jean, thank you so much. Terri, tell us, when are you next? What are you going to be doing next? Where could we see you?
I believe I'm probably on Thursday going to be on Allie's show, but to be honest, I don't know for sure right now. We haven't received her message, and I think I'm with Allie at 10 on Sunday. Yeah. Okay. So it's either going to be me or Jean, but that's probably my next thing.
That sounds good. And Jean, when's your next appearance?
It looks like it will be. I'm doing a live with Lady Soul on Sunday after Allie's show, and at 4 p.m. I'll be on my channel with Lady Soul.
That sounds great. And
Yeah.
I may or may not be on Meeting with the Mediums with Allie on Thursday too. We're not quite sure who's going to be there this week. But in any case, I thank both of you so much. I just adore reading with you, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Joan.
You
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Take care, everybody.